How did the population of the camp of Judah change from the first to the second census? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Numbers on Walking Through the Bible. The glory of His cross. If you have a Bible with you, turn to Numbers 26. We're going to be reading from verses 19 to 27. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Numbers 26, beginning at verse 19. The sons of Judah were and Onan and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah, according to their families, were of Shelah, the family of the Shelonites, of Perez, the family of the Perizzites, of Zerah, the family of the Zarites. And the sons of Perez were Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, of Hamul, the family of the Hamulites. These are the families of Judah, according to those who were numbered of them, 76,500. The sons of Issachar, according to their families, were Tola, the family of the Tolahites, of Puah, the family of the Punites, of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites, of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. These are the families of Issachar, according to those who were numbered of them, 64,300. The sons of Zebulun, according to their families, were of Sarad, the family of the Sardites, of Elon, the family of the Elonites, of Jaleel, the family of the Jaleelites. These are the families of the Zebulunites, according to those who were numbered of them, 60,500. In this chapter, we're studying about the second census of Israel. This census was taken just before Israel went in to conquer Canaan, meaning at the end of the period of wilderness wandering. It included only men of war over the age of 20, so just like the first census, it excluded women and children, meaning that Israel's actual population would have been higher. Now, when Israel left Sinai, their total population of men of war was 603,550 men. If God had blessed them, even if the first generation died off in the wilderness, you would expect that Israel's population would have grown. But that is not what we're going to find. In our last lesson, we took a look at the camp of Reuben and found that among the three tribes, Reuben, Simeon, and Gad, that their population had decreased by about 30%, with the tribe of Simeon having a 63% drop in population just on its own. We noted that the tribes of Reuben and Simeon were mentioned in two of the three major rebellions during the period of wilderness wandering, which could account for some of this decrease. What we didn't mention, though, concerns the house of Korah. From chapter 16, it might be easy to come away with the idea that the entire family of Korah was killed when the earth opened and swallowed up Korah and the rebels. However, Numbers 26:11 makes it clear that the children of Korah did not die. That would mean that they didn't take part in the rebellion of their father. Why do I take the time to mention this? Because we will find the children of Korah again in 1 Chronicles, as well as in our study of the book of Psalms, for 11 Psalms have their names in the titles. It is therefore necessary for us to know that they survived. Coming now to the camp of Judah, we saw that in the first census, this was the largest camp in Israel with 186,400 men of war. Judah led the way with 74,600 men, followed by Zebulun with 57,400, and then Issachar with 54,400. After the second census, what do we find? Judah's population had increased to 76,500 men of war, representing a 2.5% increase. Zebulun's population had increased to 60,500 men of war, representing a 5.4% increase. And Issachar's population had increased to 64,300 men of war, representing an 18.2% increase. Therefore, the population of the camp of Judah had increased to 201,300, representing an 8% increase. With the tribe of Issachar having increased so much, Issachar overtook Zebulun for the second largest tribe in the camp, though still well behind the tribe of Judah. So that the population of the camp of Judah grew over this period instead of decreased, shows that they possibly weren't as bad as the camp of Reuben. However, when you break down the numbers per year, at a growth rate of 0.2% per year, the camp of Judah barely made up for the numbers of deaths each year. Just as a point of reference, the current population growth rate on Earth today is about 1.2% per year. Now, if we applied that rate of growth to the camp of Judah, by this time the camp of Judah should have been just about 271,400. Now maybe you might come along and say that that's not a fair comparison, for population growth rates would have been different at that time, which is true. But while in Egypt, Israel went from 70 people to most likely over 1.5 million in a period of 430 years. That would represent at least a 5,000% increase in population each year. So while God may not have blessed Israel with that high of population growth after leaving Egypt, an increase of only 0.2% per year in the camp of Judah would tend to show us the price that Israel paid for their rebellion in refusing to take the promised land those many years before. However, the population growth in the camp of Judah did help stem the 30% loss in population that the camp of Reuben suffered. How would the other camps fare? We'll find out, the Lord willing, in the next 2 lessons. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Numbers chapter 26, verses 28 to 41, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.